This is video number 2 for Chapter 8 in the Microsoft Excel 2013 Comprehensive Textbook. I'm on page 485 and there's a description there of what a pivot table is. And the first instructions are on the top of page 486, so let's go there. And we want to go to the Sales Analysis Figures worksheet. And we want to go to cell B3. I need to scroll up here, and here is cell B3. And I want to go to the Insert tab, and it doesn't really matter where I am in the table here. I just need to be someplace in the table before you do this, because then you won't have to select it when you do insert. So insert, I want to insert a pivot table, and we're going to take the defaults here. Because we started out with the cursor in the data, it automatically selected it for us. It's still always a good idea to just visually verify this. There'll be a dancing line around your data. And we're going to put it on a new worksheet, so we'll take the defaults and click on OK. And when we get to a new worksheet, this is what it looks like. We've got a list of fields over here. I can close this. I don't need that anymore. And over here is where the pivot table is going to be created. And they want style to be added, and they tell us to drag it, but we can just click on it. And there's really no need to drag it. And then we want to click the department checkbox. And in the choose fields to add the, okay. And now we should have, notice we've got style over here and department over here, which means we're going to have rows for the different styles, which are in bold, and we're going to have rows underneath those for the departments, which are not in bold. And now we want the 2014 sales values to be down, and we don't need to do that either. We can just click on the checkbox and it automatically puts it down here. And we want the 2015 sales values, and that will appear down here as well. And your spreadsheet should now match figure 8-19 on page 488. Now let's go to the top of page 489, and we want to go to the Design tab. Up here we get these two tabs that appear when we're working on a pivot table. By the way, notice if you click off of the pivot table, all that stuff disappears. The stuff up here disappears. So if you ever lose the pivot table stuff, it just means you clicked off the table somewhere. So I'm clicking back on it again, and we're going to go up to the Design tab, and we want to go to the Report Layout button and click on it over here. And the one we want is we want Show in Tabular Form. And if we do that, all it did was take these values for department and move it from column A over to column B. And your pivot table should now match what's on the bottom of page 489. Now let's go to the top of page 490. Tap or click the Report button to display the Report Layout menu. And click Repeat All Item Labels. And what it'll do then is it will, actually I think this is more confusing, but it repeats the labels over here. And now we're on number 1 on the bottom of page 490. Drag the Style button in the Rows area of the Pivot Table Fields task pane below. That's over here. And we want to drag that up to, I'm sorry, I want to take this and drag it down here. Okay. And we also want to take style and drop it down there. I missed that step. So take style and drop it down there, and it just flip-flops the rows and the columns over here. So now it should match what's on the bottom of page 490. And now we're on the top of page 491, and that's where you take the sales venue and drag it down here. And now we have a filter button up here for sales venue, and what we can do is we can click on that, and it will let us select different parts of our data to look at. So we're basically kind of doing a filter here. And it says we want online only, so click on online, click on OK, and now up here the value online appears, and the numbers that we see down here are just the numbers for the online sales. And now we're at the middle of, or the bottom part of page 492, and we want to drag the style button to the rows, from the rows area to the filters area. So we're going to drag style up here. And we're going to take sales venue and we're going to drag it down to the rows area below department. And if you get these in the wrong place, you can just click and drag and move them around. So I want sales venue down at the bottom, so that's pretty easy to do. And now we want to go to B2 here, which now has styles. We're on the top of page 493. And we want to select multiple styles, so we can click on this checkbox. And then we want to deselect bling, standard, and team colors. So bling, standard, and team colors, and this should match the picture on the top of page 493. And then tap or click the OK button to display. And now what we're seeing is just the totals for custom and personalized sales. And now we're on the top of page 494, and what we're going to do is we're going to go back to B2 here. We're going to click on our filter button, and we're going to turn all back on and click on OK. And it says drag the style button out of the pivot tables fields task pane over here, and now we'll just drag it up and let go, and it goes away. And now what we have left should match what's in figure 8.30 on the middle of page 494. Okay, let's move to page 495. I want to drag the sales venue button out of the rows area to remove it from the report, so just drag it straight up and let go. Tap or click the style checkbox up here, so that will add it down here at the bottom. And now we should have styles visible over here. And the next step is click on B4, and that'll give us a filter for the style field. And we want to turn off bling, standard, and team colors, just like we did before. And this should match what you see on the bottom of page 495. Now at the top of page 496, and we want to click on OK. And now our spreadsheet should match what's on figure 833 at the top of page 496. And now we're at the bottom of page 496, and we're going to remove a row label filter. So we want to go to B4, and we want to click on this, and we want to clear the filter, which will give us everything back again. And now your number should match the numbers on in the picture on the top of page 497. And we'll stop there at the middle of page 497 and continue with video 3 beginning at the bottom of page 497.